We're closing in on the end of the regular season in the ACCH. D3 had a home-and-home action with the Kelvin Knights approaching their final weekend of the regular season with a chance to take home the MCHC East title. Meanwhile, the women look for a serious playoff push, starting off hosting the Northern Michigan Wildcats. Playoff breakdowns, game recaps, and honoring our seniors all to come on this episode of Inside Chippewa Club Hockey. This weekend was a successful one for the men's D3 team. They were able to complete a home-and-home sweep against the Calvin College Knights, extending their winning streak to 20 straight games. The weekend kicked off Friday night at Eagles Ice Center. Chippewa's on power play in the second period. Justice Bigelow passes it over to Brennan Martin. Martin takes a shot and Dalton Sutherland finishes it off.
Great start for the Chippewas here, especially for the campaign of Dalton Sutherland. 99th point on the season for the young Chippewa down there, and he gets it right under the stick of Gregor. Nice sneaky shot.
Dalton Sutherland once again gets the puck at the blue line, gets it over to Ryan Tyre. Tyre back to Sutherland, and he completes his 100th point on the season.
Well, to say it lightly, as Dalton Sutherland said it, this is probably the ugliest way to get a 100th goal of a career. Great passing down there, as always, from Dalton Sutherland and Ryan Tyre. Sudsy's right in front, puts that one home, and a historic century mark for the young Chippewa. That's a great look.
Brennan Martin with a little movement over to Dalton Sutherland. Sutherland back to Martin. Martin sees Nate Allgaier in front of the net, and he scores. Yeah,
Gator was really on his game in this one, and really another great weekend for Allgaier. Found himself using a little bit of the inside-outside move and got that one upstairs.
Philip Fazio tosses the puck back to James Gleason. Gleason with a beautiful slap shot right past the Kelvin goaltender.
We've seen Gleason take this shot a numerous number of times over the last couple of years. This one finds its way through as they typically do when the captain takes a slapper.
After an 8-1 victory over the Knights, the Chippewas came home to Ice Arena. Brennan Martin gets the puck on his stick. He passes it over to Jordan Wadge. Wadge fires a beauty into the net. Chippewas lead 4-0.
This is a nice, easy pass from Brennan Martin, and great walking up there from Jordan Wadge. Stapled that one top corner. Beauty from the top left circle.
Jason Pischke gets the puck back to Schwimmer. Schwimmer winds up and sends it to the back of the net.
See, when I saw this goal, I thought that it had been tipped in front from Michael Croft, but really it was just a great shot placement from Ben Schwimmer as he got that one off of the stick of a defender from Calvin, and it found its way upstairs.
Dalton Sutherland gets the puck in front of the net, and Brennan Martin finishes it up.
Nice, easy one over here. In fact, Brennan Martin playing the Dalton Sutherland in that role. Found its way over, crease to crease, back of the net.
Dalton Sutherland regains possession of the puck for the Chippewas, fights off two defensemen, and sneaks one through the 5-hole.
Classic scoop and score here for Dalton Sutherland. Takes that one at the blue line, turns and burns up ice, just sneaks that one right through. Nothing doing. Too easy for him.
This weekend was CMU's 7th straight MCHC sweep and 10th consecutive all-win weekend. The Chippewas outscored the Knights 16-3 in their wins and pushed their record over the 30-win mark. Sean, we've seen many changes happen. How do you think that impacted the team?
I think the fact that you were able to get some of those more diversified scores out there really helped out the team. You didn't have to focus on Dalton Sutherland or Nate Allgaier the entire time. You could have more of your scores like a Brennan Martin go out there. Or in fact, in that second game of the weekend, you didn't even have to have any of your top guys out there. Tyre was out for a suspension for one game. Shane Agnello was a healthy scratch. You saw a lot more diversified guys, and I think being able to have that ability, it shows the depth. Really the thing that we're more concerned with for CMU going into the playoffs is not the superstars. We know what they can do. But what this CMU team has that really none of the other teams in the MCHC have is the true depth. They have one of the best teams in terms of all four lines going, and even their scratches are some of the best players.
Our player of the weekend this weekend against Calvin is indisputable, completing 100 points on Friday. Now with 48 goals and 57 assists on the season, Dalton Sutherland stands as the top scorer in the ACCH. How do you see his play impact the other players around him?
I like to say that it's not just Dalton Sutherland because that top line has so many points. But at the very same point, that man, Dalton Sutherland, the way that he has played, the way that he has been that scrappy player in front of the net, he's kind of made it his own office. And a lot of the guys on his line, they give him a little bit of flack because they're like, oh yeah, we can all score goals if we're all standing right at the doorstep like that. But you know, it works out for him, and you need those goals. Dalton doesn't always have the prettiest goals on the team, and he doesn't always have the highlight goals, but he gets those goals because he's driving to the front of the net, he knows where to be, and his line mates know where he has to be. They know how to get those passes down to him. He's able to have that impact of knowing that they have capable, competent scoring from the top down. Because you have him being able to open up the floodgates, everyone follows in suit.
Central Michigan University is currently second in the MCHC East standings, behind Oakland University's 25 points with 22. However, Oakland's season is over, giving CMU a chance to win the East with a sweep this weekend. Michigan, CMU's opponent this weekend, stands at number 3 in the East with 18 points, followed by Adrian at 4 with 14 and Flint at number 5 with 13 points. Saginaw Valley is at number 6 with 9 points. At the very cellar of the division sits Northwood and Lawrence Tech, both with 4 points. Currently, CMU would play Northwood in the opening round of the MCHC tournament. With a sweep over Michigan, they would take on the Lawrence Tech Blue Devils. CMU will look to compete for their first ever Vezina Cup, given to the MCHC tournament champion.
As we approach the final weekend of the ACCHA D3 regular season, we will know in a few days who is heading to nationals and who will battle in regionals after the ACCHA D3 reveal show. The playoff format of the ACCHA follows as such. The top 10 teams in each region make the playoff, but the top 2 teams in each region can auto bid to nationals and avoid the long road of regionals. That means that teams 3 through 10 battle it out in regionals, a 2-day, all-day event. The 2 teams who win the regional finals are sorted by seed into the nationals pools. In the national tournament, the 4 pools battle it out for the 3 days at Chillers North in Columbus, with the best team from each pool moving on to the semifinals, and the semifinal winners playing in the national championship game at the Ice House in Nationwide Arena. The ACCHA North is always the region to watch, especially with winning 8 of the last 9 national championships. The top 5 in the North currently stands as Michigan State, Central Michigan, Sioux College, who is ineligible for the postseason as a first-year program, Grand Valley State, and Oakland. Hope College is the team who currently would move into the top 5 in eligibility. These are the teams that the computer has ranked as the 5 best in the North. In years past, the ACCHA put rankings in the context of an eye test. We've seen nearly every team in the top half of the ACCHA North. Here's how I rank the top 5 in the North, and we start off with Central Michigan, my clear choice for number 1. The good qualities on this team, they stick out obviously. A 20-game winning streak, the most wins in the ACCHA at 30, and they handed Michigan State their only home loss of the season, 4-2. On top of that, you look at other quality wins down there. A Grand Valley State win, 8-2. We got to look at the good and the bad if we're doing a fair critique. Glaring flaws would be the worst loss was 3-0 to Michigan State, only shutout of the season. Most games played in the ACCHA, only 4 losses. What I'm trying to say is there's no glaring flaws. Michigan State is a definite top 2 team, but they're my number 2. The good qualities about them, consistency. 22 and 3 on the season, many quality wins, no real hiccups, and big wins over regional foes. I love this team. They're outstanding, a strong team, but a few bad qualities to them. A 2-1 loss to Lawrence Tech's NAIA team, who was LTU Blue last year. That's not a very good look, even if it is on the road. A 6-3 demolishing by Hope kind of sits out as the odd mark of the season. And the big thing that kills it for me, they have played the least amount of games of any of the top 5 teams. Again, that's not a glaring flaw, but it's the reason why I jumped CMU over them. Hope College is my golden goose. They're my prediction. They're my jump from number 6 to number 3. I love this team. I think that there's a lot of good qualities about them. They're the only team in the ACCHA to beat Michigan State and Central Michigan. A very strong split with Grand Valley, who I've moved down. Hope has more quality wins and less games played than Grand Valley State. Again, a tie and a win against number 5 in the South, Central Florida. I know this team. They're a playoff-ready team, good scorers like Garrett Gormley, and a great goaltender in Austin Kane. There are bad qualities, though. They were swept by Oakland, and bad losses to CMU, 8-2, and Michigan State, 9-1. On top of that, there's not really huge problems that I see with them. It's just they're kind of one of those teams that has consistency here, but they're missing in a few other points. That's the reason that I moved Grand Valley down to number 4 from 3, and let me explain why. They've been good, and I won't argue with that for anybody, but they've only been good. 34 games played, 27 wins. That's obviously a good look. Heavy schedule of games played, everyone close who they have played, and some good marks on them. A 2-1 win over South number 1, Florida Gulf Coast, and a 2-1 win over CMU at home. Here's where the bad qualities come in. They do have a number of bad losses in their 7 that they do have. Blown out by Central Michigan on the road, 8-2, and a very odd loss to Indiana Tech. Now, they've won a lot of series, and when you play 34 games, you expect that. But for series that they've won, they've still looked suspect in them. 3 close games with Western Michigan. They barely overcame a Sioux College team that I'm still not really sure how I feel about. Yes, they're number 3 in the North currently, but I don't think they really have as strong of the strength of schedule as the computer rankings have them. Really close series with Michigan Flint, who I don't think is a bad team, and Schoolcraft, who is a team that's on the rise. Way too many close games against bad teams. They're good, but they're not number 3 good. They're my number 4, which leads us to our number 5, Oakland Grizzlies. The reason they're here, they have been good, but they have been so inconsistent this season with good big wins, but some odd losses. Handed CMU their last loss, 4-3 at Detroit Skating Club. Swept Hope, and in pretty good fashion. Not a ton of bad losses, but they are present. Some of the bad qualities about them have hardly looked consistently good. They do have good wins in there, and they do have good series that they played. That Hope series is obviously one that everyone's going to say, why'd you put them at number 3, or Hope at number 3 over Oakland? Well, when you open your season nearly losing to Saginaw Valley State, that's a bit of a red mark for me, and obviously it's been months since then, but a bad Florida road trip with a number of low-quality losses. Obviously, they played some good games against tough teams down in the South. These are teams that are fast and they know how to play. A tough series split with Michigan playing back in the mitten, that does not give me the best sense of relief. I hardly feel comfortable with this team heading into regionals. That's why Hope is my number 3 team, Grand Valley at 4, and the Golden Grizzlies, 2 years removed from their national championship, play at number 5. We will see how things play out with these rankings as we arrive at the final weekend of the ACCHA regular season, where CMU D3 plays Michigan in a home-and-home.
Tonight is senior night for Central Michigan as the 10 seniors will be honored. We'll talk about them more later in the show. The regular season for CMU ends at the Cathedral of College Hockey, Yost Ice Arena, tomorrow night at 7:30 in Ann Arbor. Sean, the last 20 games have resulted in wins for CMU. Should we expect anything different?
This is kind of the wild card game of this latter half of the schedule. And, you know, the feeling is mostly confident, but there is that little bit of doubt because Michigan's been a weird team. I mean, they've pulled off a few upsets against some teams that really they didn't have any business doing it against. I believe Oakland and Hope are 2 of the more notable ones, but Central Michigan knows what to expect. They know what kind of team Michigan will be. The only thing is going to be goaltender play, and they got a rep for that with playing Calvinist last weekend to have that goaltender play. I think CMU this year compared to last year when they weren't able to overcome the Wolverines is faster, better hitting, and more important than anything, smarter. Just smarter in general.
Michigan has pulled off a few big wins this season against top 10 ACHA North teams. How do you think this impacts their mentality going into it?
Well, knowing you can kind of play Jack the Giant Slayer going into a series always helps, and especially for a Michigan team that's still competing in the MCHC East. I mean, they could be kind of the Cinderella upset. I don't know if they could necessarily drop CMU down to 3 in the North rankings, but they could certainly mess up their MCHC East title hopes. One win against Central Michigan, and Central Michigan cannot win the MCHC East. So that's a little thing you play for. They know what to expect against these bigger teams, so that always helps. But I think it's kind of a trade-off. You get that, yes, we know to play against big teams, but you also kind of get in your head a little bit like, hey, we did against these teams. Why can't we do it against Central Michigan? If you go in like that, complacency strikes, and it's all over like that.
Now it's time for our Player of the Weekend prediction. I'm going to go with James Gleason this weekend going into it. I think that the captains, we're going to see some of those sweet shots, and he's going to make it happen. So
yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to go with a kind of a wild card. We've never went with this one before, but you know what? His brother's in the Olympics right now. I'm going to go with Dylan Billins, an all ACHA ref, and you know, he's been a great player all season long, a very consistent defenseman. I like what I've been seeing from him. I got to give him a little love.
Dale's dark horse is going to be Cadzow. They think that Nick Dale thinks that he's going to stay consistent, make the little things happen like he has all the rest of the season so far.
And this is second senior night for Cadzow, so that's perfect. And the CCHN crew is going to go with Riley Morgan this weekend. Riley Morgan, he's been a consistently good goaltender all season long. Easily one of the best in the entire ACHA. Save percentage, goals against, it all speaks for itself. Riley's a good and safe pick.
Make sure to cast your vote on our Twitter page with who you're going with for this weekend's Player of the Weekend prediction. When we come back, we'll preview the conclusion of the Peninsula Wars and what's ahead for the women's team.
5, 4.
Something catch your eye? Tonight's gonna be perfect. I can feel it. Nothing could go wrong.
There's my birthday girl. Did you really expect things to work out?
I just wanted one good night.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
In an extraordinary place where the stars and stripes and the eagle fly.
A 4-game homestand for women's club hockey closes their season as they look to sneak their way into the CCWHA playoffs. Avenging last month's Marquette road trip is first on the schedule as number 7 Northern Michigan Wildcats make their way to Mount Pleasant for the final battles of the Peninsula Wars. This is the last series for the Wildcats. Since sweeping the Chippewas, Northern has been swept by number 10 Wisconsin. Eau Claire split with number 9 Notre Dame and tied and lost against D1 Aquinas. Last time these two teams met, Northern won the series by scores of 3-1 and 2-0. Sean, you stressed that they should have at least split. What made you think that in those games?
They were the better team, frankly. They had better depth. I thought that they played a better forecheck, but it's been the same thing in pretty much every loss we've seen this season for Central Michigan. It's bad 2 minutes. It's bad 3 minutes. It's a bad period. Central Michigan is one of the best 40-minute teams in all the CCWHA, and I'll stand by that. But the 60th minute is the part where they cannot get it together. We're talking about it in film, we're talking about it when we look back over the games, and the team has been stressing this in practice. It's about finishing. This is a very conditioned team, and it's not about the physical ability to being able to close out games, it's the mental ability. And you get that with the youth experience right now. Central Michigan was on the verge of coming up with at least one win in that one. They had 1-0 lead heading into the third period, a bad 2 minutes, and suddenly it was 3-1.
Fighting for their ACCHA playoff lives, and with the recent skid, do you expect a desperate Northern team or one reflective of their recent record?
That's a really tough thing to answer. Northern has definitely been a good team, but they've been shaky, and that's the reason that they kind of fell out of that top 6, now at number 7. I think Northern Michigan's going to be hungry, and especially knowing what kind of coach they have up there. This team's good. This team is very capable, but unlike years past, this is a very short team. I believe they have 2 full lines with maybe a third line that they can mingle in there, but I think if Central Michigan plays their cards right, they can definitely jump a team that's kind of exhausted heading into the latter part of the season. They have their CCWHA bid all but locked up, but going forward, they have to really work if they want to get their ACHA bid. The CCWHA playoff race is incredibly tight in the final weeks of the regular season. The number 1 seed's all locked up as Adrian finishes their undefeated season against current number 6, Michigan State, as Adrian looks to go 10-0 in the CCWHA. Number 2 Loyola Chicago finished their season with a sweep of Michigan State to finish 6-3-1 in conference play and secure a playoff spot. Number 3 Northern Michigan at 4-3-1, and number 4 Notre Dame at 3-3 finish out their seasons against the number 5 Chippewas.
The top 4 teams in the conference play in the CCWHA tournament down in Kalamazoo, taking place February 23rd through the 25th. With the Chippewas having more games remaining than any conference foe, the Chippewas control their own destiny to steal a playoff spot. Sitting 2 games behind Notre Dame for the last playoff spot, with 4 games left, CMU needs to win 3 of their final 4 or sweep Notre Dame in order to take the number 4 seed. If CMU were to win out, they could overthrow the Wildcats and take the number 3 seed. The Chippewas have never played in the tournament, but could increase their prayer of a national bid if they make the CCWHA and compete well. A crucial weekend ahead for the ladies with a real playoff push needed. Sean, who do you think will step up as this player of the weekend?
I'm really going to go with Annie Willits here. I think she has been so consistent in terms of playing ability, and her scoring touch has gotten a lot better. The last couple of weeks, she's been close to putting her first one in the back of the net. I think this is really a series where we see her take that next step from a good centerman to a scorer.
I'm going to go with Mac Barnett. She's done really well at the blue line, and her shooting has gotten a lot better, so I'm going to bet on her this weekend.
The CCHN crew is going to go with one of the other triplets on that line. They're going to go with Michaela Guza from that Willits-Guza twin line. They're looking what they're seeing out there, and I don't disagree with them. The Guza twins, if I could pick both of them, I would certainly go with both of them, but I think that their scoring touch has been something where they've been on a telepathy, and I think they're going to keep that going. Dale's dark horse for this weekend is the assistant captain, Sam Dupree. Her scoring touch hasn't been there. She hasn't taken a ton of shots this season, but she's certainly been one to lead the forecheck going into every offensive zone possession. And I think we got a good cast and crew here for this Player of the Weekend pick.
Head to our Twitter page at CM Hockey Network and cast your vote for who you think will be this weekend's Player of the Weekend prediction. When we come back, we'll take you inside the mind of D3 head coach James Cadzow as we followed him around and mic'd him up on game day, and say goodbye to the largest group of seniors in D3 history.
If you're like me, when you have some downtime, you'd like to play video games and watch anime. Though, you may not have anyone to talk to about these 2 hobbies. If that's the case, check out MHTV's brand new show, Downtime. My friends and I get together, have guests on, and we talk about gaming topics. We also discuss the latest anime being shown this season. So, if you have some downtime, come spend it with us at 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Charter Channel 189.
This semester, MHTV presents Nobody Watches Season 3. A show with questionable quality and, more stuff. Nobody Watches Season 3, airing Mondays at 1 and 8 p.m., greeting you with new episodes every other week.
And roll, we say, we want you to be okay. And roll, we say, take care of people for goodness sake. There's a plan for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Welcome back to Inside Chippewa Club Hockey. James Cadzow is a passionate coach, whether on the bench or in the locker rooms during the D3 games. We give you the chance to hear what the players hear on game day, miking up Coach Cadzow in our home game against Northwood. Here's a look at game day through the eyes and words of a coach.
Guys, a couple things I want to concentrate on this first period. I want to seal up the backside of the neutral zone. We got beat too many times yesterday on that. I want wingers attacking to and from. Neutral zone is ours, will always be ours for 60 minutes tonight. The one last thing I want to see in the first period is us snap and passes quick out of the D zone, use the neutral zone, and let's get going. All right? I don't want to see carries. This first period, I want to see passing the puck. I want to get the hands warm and the feet moving, all right? We can worry about all that other when it comes. I'm not saying pass up an absolute Red Sea split and wide open. Take that lane. But I want to focus on getting those quick passes early, wingers getting deep, 2 or 3, real quick, transition, we're gone. Communicate and use one another tonight. Stop overthinking. Need to be sharp here. First 20, then build from there. We got to forget about yesterday because that wasn't who we were.
Bigelow fires one upstairs. Right over to Nate Algeier, and he scores!
There it is.
Daddy for Gator. 3-0 the power play goal.
All natural.
Yeah. I haven't had one of those in a minute.
Down here, though, you can't shy away. You got to be that first guy into the corner. I mean, Bress ended up hammering that guy, but...
I figured I saw him go.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. All right.
Easy one down to Waj. Waj fires a shot. Goes to the doorstep, and they score!
It's about f***ing time. Nobody can play 60 minutes with us. It's just got to stop taking 40 minutes for us to figure it out. All right? Stay.
Hey, keep that momentum, boys. Keep it. Keep working.
Hey, double. Double digits here, right? Let's go.
Finish shot 3. 1, 2, 3.
Finish!
Face off 1. Over to Billings, fires a shot. Blocked away. 18 straight wins for the Chippewas. Got it.
Oh, man. Good job, coach. Yep, you too. Good job, coach.
Good luck down the stretch.
Thanks a lot. I'm telling you, and I've said it a million times, when we have fun out there, we play our best. When we play loose and together. That was a hell of a third period, guys. Good job.
Coach Cadzow and the Chippewas say goodbye to the largest group of seniors in Central Michigan D3 history. A historic group of dynamic players who worked as the base of what has become one of the best teams in the ACCHA. Relive the careers of these 10 players in their own words.
Last time I didn't know that I'd be coming back. Thought that would be my last time playing, but this time knowing that it's my last time, seeing how all the seniors that graduated last year, 2 years ago with me the first time, how much they miss it. I mean, I'm definitely going to be thinking about that.
It's going to be a great game. Good times here at the Ice Arena, but couldn't ask for a better group of guys to end it with.
It's sad that competitive hockey for a lot of us come to an end, but we'll enjoy it. It would just be so surreal to just end like way up on top. Like I can't get any higher than the national championship.
It's gonna be unreal, you know. Skated here for 4 years, so you know it'll be fun one last time playing in front of everyone.
It's going to be weird to think about. I feel like I haven't been here for very long, but when I look back on it, 3 years is a pretty long time, so I'm going to be really excited and cherish all the memories that I've had here.
Well, last year, it was pretty sad thinking that it was my last year playing. I've been just trying to enjoy every moment of it, so still going to have those sad moments.
My grandparents made the trip down from Canada. I remember looking up into the stands, seeing my grandma up there. That would end up being the last time she ever got to see me play. She passed away last October, so that's just a special moment that I'll always have.
Honestly, just that we've set the tone to show the standard of the younger guys coming in. They now know what to expect out of what coach wants, what we want for the program. You know,
this is going to be my last competitive year of hockey. I mean, the ring to finish my competitive hockey career would be huge. It would definitely be a memory that I'll have forever.
This group skates one last time tonight at Ice Arena. We hope you'll join us to see the seniors off.
But if you can make it out to any of this weekend's games, no need to worry, as we'll be broadcasting all of the men's and women's games. For the ladies, tune in at chipswd2.com and at chipshockeycast.com for men's D3.
Make sure to keep up with us all weekend long on our social media at CM Hockey Network and Chippewa Club Hockey Network on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Inside Chippewa Club Hockey. Fire up, Chips.